G'day, Shane Dowling here from kangaroocourtofaustralia.com. I'm here with Mackenzie Raymond, who's had an AVO instituted against her by federal MP Linda Burney, and it's set down for Monday, 9:30 a.m. at the Newtown Magistrates Court in Sydney. So, Mackenzie, how did you find out about the AVO?
I was not served the AVO by the police at home. My partner accidentally found my name on a court list when searching for upcoming cases for Linda Burney's daughter, who I know has a couple of AVO's cases before the courts at the moment.
And
so
what's the...
searched Burney and then saw that Linda Burney came up and then saw my name.
So it hadn't been served, and if you hadn't shown up, do you plan on showing up on Monday, or can you show
up? Yes, I do plan on showing up to oppose the AVO on Monday.
But if you hadn't shown up, they could have had court orders and issued against you, or potentially a warrant issued against you as well.
Yeah, potentially if I hadn't shown up on Monday and it hadn't been served, then, I mean, I wouldn't have gotten in trouble in that sense, but Linda could have requested interim orders be in place because currently there are no interim orders in place as it's not a police-supported AVO, it is a private AVO.
Now, I've had a look at the AVO application and there doesn't seem to be any grounds whatsoever for the AVO. She's complaining about stuff like you putting her wage online on the internet, which is freely available, putting her own home ownership, how many houses she owns on the internet, but that's freely available. I've just done an article and a video on Peter Dutton where it's discussed how many houses he owns, and there was ABC Four Corners promoting that. That sort of information is freely available about federal MPs. Do you think there's any basis to the AVO? I can't see any.
No, if sharing a federal politician's salary and home ownership was a crime or grounds for an apprehended violence order, then I would assume a lot more people would have AVOs against them. It's publicly available information. Anyone can Google this. So, no, I don't believe she has grounds whatsoever.
Now, one of the ridiculous things in there is that she complains that what you're writing potentially does damage to her reputation. Well, that has nothing to do with an AVO. That's a backdoor defamation claim in effect, and I know a lot about them. I've had Kerry Stokes hounding me for them over the years, trying to silence me. So the AVO seems to be the new tool to silence people online.
Yeah.
Is that what you feel, or?
It looks that way. I'm surprised that she didn't seek a cease and desist or something with a bit more weight to it, as it seems her main goal was that she would try and prevent me from posting anything on social media. I'll speak to that in a bit too, but yeah, I don't know why she hasn't pursued defamation if she genuinely is concerned about how I may have damaged her reputation by sharing publicly available information. I might need your support if she ever does actually pursue me. I might reach out to you.
Well, I'll just go through the list of things I've written up in the AVO application because it's bordering on scandalous. Now, there's a public interest issue here with a federal MP going private to issue and institute a private AVO application. Now, it's not signed, which is a concern.
I've been assured that it's signed on the court copy at the courts, apparently. But yes.
But she says she doesn't know you personally. That's not actually correct, is it? She does. She has had interaction with you before.
Yeah, she states that our relationship is just through social media. There's a plane going over, which is true in a sense, but also she did show in court for the first two mentions for an apprehended violence order that her daughter had applied for against me, also vexatiously. So Linda did show in court on the first date on the 24th of January, and I think the second one was the 28th of February. I wasn't there because I had COVID, but she was there to support her daughter, and because she was also listed as a protected person on that private apprehended violence order, which I also opposed in court.
So she's well aware of who you are. She's been involved in proceedings in court documents against you previously. Now, just quickly, you mentioned that AVO that her daughter tried to take out against you or institute against her. ultimately, you told me she didn't show up to the final hearing, so it was dismissed. And that the daughter, your lawyer, has actually taken out an AVO against the daughter because she's continued to harass your lawyer online. Is that correct?
Yeah, not just online, but yes, following the hearing and it being dismissed because Linda and her daughter did not show in court. That was on the 9th of June this year, also at Newtown Local Court. Within about 2 months, I believe it was.
Daughter, yep.
Linda's daughter and partner then started harassing my lawyer, not just directly to her mobile number, but also at the law firm where she works.
And she took it out.
Her advice from at the law centre was to take that she would have to take an apprehended violence order out against them, which she then subsequently did. And one of those AVOs has gone through and has been, and I believe is about to be served.
Oh, yep. And I'm just going through the list. That was a bit of a doozy of an AVO. I've seen a lot of legal documents, but it just didn't stack up. One of the issues there is that Linda Burney said she's made numerous complaints to the Marrickville Police and also the Federal Police, yet they haven't instituted the AVO. Normally, if you make a complaint to the police and there's grounds for it, they'll institute the AVO. Now, if you make it to one police force and they don't institute the AVO, well, there's a lot of complaints that the police fail to do their job. But this is a federal MP and she's gone to both the New South Wales Police and the Federal Police numerous times. But they've obviously felt there's no grounds to institute the AVO and they left it to Linda Burney to do it herself. That would be very concerning, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that only proves that it is vexatious. The fact that she has made multiple attempts to complain about me to other police and then continued to do a private AVO against me regardless, it only proves that this is just an abuse of justice, an abuse of power, abuse of her power against me as a member of the public.
But it also seems to be a backdoor AVO on behalf of her daughter. I think you mentioned there's a time limit because the daughter instituted an AVO against you, didn't show up to the hearing. There's a time frame where she can't apply for another AVO, so Linda Burney's done it on her behalf, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but from what I understand, I don't believe that the daughter can reapply for an AVO on the same grounds and with any of the evidence that was already provided from either one of us from the previous AVO. But yeah, I believe that this AVO was a continuation of the ongoing abuse from Linda Burney's daughter.
And
it's not really Linda.
That might explain why the New South Wales Police and the Federal Police have refused, or well, haven't instituted the AVO themselves.
Yeah, well, that and the fact that all they've done is share publicly available information. So the police wouldn't, I don't know if maybe they just weren't tricked into seeing that is, grounds for
frivolous.
An AVO. It's not. Yeah. It is frivolous. It's baseless. Yeah.
Now, one of the orders she's seeking is that you must not post anything on any social media. That's a bit of overreach. But we'll write that off as a typo of some sort where she hasn't really given it much thought because that's totally silencing you.
Completely from using any social media, apparently. Yeah.
But I want to read this line out, and I found it quite disturbing. So I'm just going to minimise the screen and hopefully it'll keep recording. Hold it. Okay, but I actually can't bring it up, but maybe you can.
I believe it's the one about my mental health.
Yeah, that line.
Yeah. The last line of the application is, I'm the defendant. So Linda says, I believe the defendant to be mentally unwell. Totally unacceptable behaviour. Now,
once again, we could write that off as a typo as well of some sort. Not a typo, but
a Freudian slip or something, not realising that those 2 points could be are linked because they're in the same sentence, but it doesn't look good.
No, it looks absolutely, disgraceful.
Stigmatising of mental health. Yeah.
Disgraceful. And she has a crack at you in somewhere else.
Yeah,
further
the
up, where she used what the postings are
unhinged.
unhinged.
Which
So,
is a word that I have previously used to describe myself on the social media pages I was running, exposing the abuse of Linda's daughter. But like she has used it. I believe she is referring to me as and my behaviour online as unhinged. She says unhinged social media activity of Mackenzie Raymond.
now, I've emailed Linda Burney two of her email addresses, and which are freely available online. I don't want to be hit up for stalking either.
Yeah, careful. Yeah.
And I've also sent her a message on Twitter. She's got that open, so I can send her a direct message.
Okay.
And she hasn't responded at this stage. I've given it till 5 o'clock today, and then I'll publish the article tomorrow. But I'll publish this video earlier. And if she does wish to respond to the email, I've only asked her about why has she instituted the proceedings and not the Federal Police or the New South Wales Police, and asked her if she'd like to make any further comment. So I haven't gone into too much detail. Now, if she does respond, I'll update this video, or I'll put a link below the video to the article, which will have her response. Whether she does respond or not, I don't know. Quite often the federal MPs don't respond if it's something they don't want to answer, if there's questions there they don't like. But other than that, you're due at the Newtown Police at 9:30, not police, Newtown Courthouse at 9:30 a.m. on Monday. So if there's anyone watching, any other media, any other individuals that are interested, please show up there and support you and see how we go there.
I would really appreciate that.
Other than that, thank you for your time, Mackenzie, and good luck with that. And we'll keep an eye on it, see how you go.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay then, bye.
Bye.
Now, I decided to do the interview with Mackenzie Raymond because it involves a federal MP, and there's numerous issues in the AVO that just don't sit right. Why did she make several complaints to the Federal Police and the New South Wales Police, yet they never instituted proceedings? You'll see on a regular basis that the police, whether state or federal, will institute proceedings for an AVO on behalf of individuals and MPs, etc. But in this case, they refused to do so for whatever reason. And also, Linda Burney seems to think an AVO can be used to protect her reputation. Well, it's got nothing to do with her reputation. That looks like a backdoor attempt at defamation proceedings. And then there's other issues there raised. It wasn't served on Mackenzie Raymond for whatever reason, which is disturbing in itself. And also that there's no real grounds in there that can seem to justify an AVO. And it's a public hearing anyhow. It's set down for Monday at 9:30 a.m. at the Newtown Magistrates Court. So show up if you can and give Mackenzie Raymond some support. There's always two sides of the story, but based on what Mackenzie Raymond's saying, there's a very disturbing situation evolving there, and I think other media should show up and report on it as well. Now, I'll be publishing an article on Sunday the 16th of October 2022, which will have a copy of the AVO so you can see it yourself, you can read it yourself, and with further information. So make sure you visit my website, Kangaroo Court of Australia. Now, the Patreon account I set up 7-8 weeks ago is currently sitting at 190 supporters who have committed to $1,570 a month. If you can support that, it'd be greatly appreciated. That helps fund these videos and the articles I publish on my website. It starts off at $3, $5, $7, $10, $15, $20, whatever you can afford, whatever suits your budget. Most people can afford $3 or $5 a month. It all helps out. And please share this video on Facebook and Twitter, etc. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.